Hi, this is Doug Higgins. I feel like I should apologize in advance. I showed up to the Flaggstaff Roundup with a brand new phone, and I thought I had downloaded the proper app for recording, the same app that I've used at previous roundups, but unfortunately it was not the same app, and it had to be converted in order for me to get it into my editing software. So during that conversion we lost a great deal in terms of fidelity. I promise you I will have this issue addressed before the Kaibab Roundup, which is the last weekend in June. If you would like more information, feel free to call me. You'll be able to see that in the YouTube comment box. Thank you.
Cindy Ronan, sorry. Okay. No, I don't even look like Harry. No. My name is Cindy Williams, and I am an alcoholic. My sobriety date is November 22nd, 2009. That is my sobriety date as of today. To prepare for this speech, people have asked, will you write something down, or do you need to get a moment to pray? And so this is how you can prepare for something like this. You can't write anything down. I haven't spoken at the podium oftentimes, and I know that when I write from the pen to the paper, it's coming from here to the paper, and at the podium, it needs to come from here to out my mouth. And first, foremost, thank you, Carrie, since he couldn't make it, and I get to do it. And to JR, he has offered up the most hospitable place I've never glanced before, so that was really cool. It's too bad we have to leave by noon. Yeah, so this is, I asked if I could speak about God, and he said, you better. And so I am going to, or I say we, in my sobriety, early sobriety, I started incorporating we in my, because I was talking about me and Gigi, and I'll tell you about him in a minute. Most of my dramatic drama stories are in Texas, Willis, Texas, and not one Yahoo, no Texas. All right, okay, no Willis, Texas. All right. So Texas is where I did a lot. I got most of my trouble, a lot of DUIs and TIs, and basically, you know, if my eyes were open, I was drinking. And I'd say that's the only time I was drinking, so my eyes were open, and I kept going to jail. So my mom, and I have a lot of brothers. My mom is an alcoholic, and a lot of family is alcoholism, and everybody in the family has some sort of issue, and so I believe that this is a hereditary disease, dis-ease. I've been at dis-ease for so long. My drinking career is starting to be about where my sobriety is. And but wherever I was, there I was. And so my DUIs, the DUIs were starting to add up. My third DUI in Texas, because I'm not sure exactly why that was dismissed. So I had every time I got a DUI in Texas, the police never really pulled me over. I was already on the side of the road, usually having some sort of issue with someone in the car, and then I would get to jail. I always got to jail with no shoes. That's part of my story too. The thing about sharing on spirituality is I've never had the opportunity to do that, and I love my relationship with Gigi and how I met him. And I'd like to get there as soon as possible. So in Texas, I lived in this little town, Willis, Texas, and what would happen is when I was outside, well, they would know that I would be an easy target to get to jail because I would be drunk. And whereas my career, I had a career since 1982. I am a hairdresser, And I maintained that career through all these years, and so well now I get to own my own shop, but that'll probably come out too in the way it unfolds. So I'm getting arrested for my first DUI, and I'm in jail. And my customer comes in, and he's an officer, and he sees me in jail, and I've been crying and everything, and he when he came to get his haircut, he brought my mugshot, and he told me, he said, if you want to drive again, I want you to put this mugshot right on your visor so that you'll know this is a good idea not to do. So, because it just didn't matter when I was out and about. I was just out and about, and if there was a party going on, the drinking that I was doing was escaping. When I would be at people's, if I was at your house and we were having a Yahtzee game and we were partying, I would want to, my MO was to leave. We would all be at a poker game, we'd all be in a Yahtzee game or something, and I would want to leave. You'd be looking around and say, where's Cindy? Cindy went to the bathroom, and when she was in there, she decided to just go out the bathroom window and leave. And I think I liked it that you guys were all looking for me, and my damsel in distress. I always like to be the damsel in distress. Like where was this party? Where was my drinking going to take me? Where would I end up? So I'd have my bottle and I'd have my haircut bag, and then I'd want to go see what I'm going to get into. And if you could. Like, this place would not be safe. A party like this without being kicked out all weekend, it's just amazing to me, because I'm the kind of person that I would be at every one of y'all's camp trying to get you to play whatever I wanted you to play, and then you would kick me out and I'd go to another camp and see what they had to drink and what have you. I want to get back to the DUIs. I want to get back to God. So, that man that gave me that first DUI, and he brought the mugshot to me. I was going to call him later, and when you get to make up into the night steps and stuff. But where's that Marcy girl? She showed me you could have emotion up here. You could stop, breathe, get grounded, and I really appreciated that. And that's what I'm going to do now too. I love Alcoholics Anonymous. I love what it's done for my life. I no longer take over the parties when I land somewhere. That's what I did. I just landed. You're right. Thank you, Father. My second DUI, I pulled over on the side of the road trying to get this guy out of my car. And he says, cop pulls up and said, everything all right over here? And the guy says, yeah, I told you were too young to drive. And so there I go, back to jail again. These people, I don't usually know them very well. And I come out of jail again. And the first thing I would like to do is have a drink. And so someone came to get me. Again, I had no shoes on. They borrowed someone's car from the bar to come get me. I get to the bar. She says, I got to get this car back to the people. But I borrowed it from them to come get you. And okay, so I'm standing there, and I want to go in the bar. I need a drink real bad. I have no shoes. And I look in the back of this truck, and this guy's got these huge, ginormous, funkified, nasty-ass shoes with boots with a steel toe, and they're nasty. And I reached in and I grabbed those boots. I'm scarcely clad, and I put them on. Of course, the 3 sizes too big. Doesn't matter. I go in the bar. I sit down, and I'm just waiting for the guy to see that it's his shoes. And I sit down. I ask for some water, and the guy says, "Hey, those are my boots." I said, "Oh, so you've been specially selected to buy me a Colorado Bulldog. Thank you for that." and he didn't oppose to that. It was his mouth dropped. So that was my way to get out of jail, get the shoes. I had a higher power, and my spirit served that power. And when I needed the drink, when I needed the stuff, that power provided the way for me to get what I needed to get going. So that man bought me the Colorado Bulldogs, and yeah, that's how I got his boots. And I said they were in the back of your truck, and I needed to come in here and get a drink because I got out of jail. And he said, "You know what kind of birds don't fly?" "No, I don't." He said, "It's the jailbirds." And so I'm learning all those kind of languages. Now in AA, I have a new I have new language. Oh, I think this might help too. Yeah, I'm not seeing. I think that might help. The part about sharing that's amazing is I don't know. I'm not as structured as Terry. I'm going to keep coming back. I'm going to keep doing what I do, and maybe. At any rate, so I get my Colorado Bulldog. I got my trip out of jail again, and that time he told me to go to AA for a year, and so I went to AA, and I didn't realize that I could sign my own paper, so I would have customers sign my paper, and I would go to the AA meetings. The third DUI, I realized I could have customers sign my paper randomly, but. So I get my second DUI, I got the AA, and I'm going in, and the only thing I heard that whole year was if you keep coming to the barbershop, eventually you'll get a haircut. And that's all I heard. I didn't say, oh, and I think the circle and triangle, that was under scrutiny because wasn't patented or whatever. Anyway, so I don't pay any attention to anything I'm hearing. I go and I'm still drinking. The only thing I'm doing is oh gosh, there's a lot of. All right, so the third DUI comes, and the video doesn't work, or the audio doesn't work, and I thought that DUI could be dismissed. It eventually was. But I'm gonna cut all that down. You guys get the idea that so this guy's gonna come get me. My mom calls, and there's a man who's doing his step work, and he wants to help save me because I've been drinking and going to jail for public intoxication or DUI on a regular basis. I've had so many PIs that they turned into another class of misdemeanors at that point. So my friend in Michigan, who I had refinanced, I had loaned a lot of money to, and my mom called and he says, I'm coming to Texas and I'm going to be in there for some automobile work, and I'd like to see y'all, and I'd like to make it up to Cindy that I borrowed all that money and never gave it back. And she's like, she apparently said, don't give her any money. You need to help her. She's an alcoholic. She's drinking too much, and she's always going to jail. So this man comes from Michigan, and he, I don't know what, but they've got this plan that I'm going to go to Michigan with them. I'm going to give up my entire career, and I'm going to give up my 3-bedroom home. And after that third DUI, I gave my son to his father to be with him in Louisiana so that I could get my shit straight, which wasn't happening. At any rate, so I get this man comes all the way from Michigan, and his intent is to take me there and I'll get straightened up. And so my day of reckoning has come. I'm going to say, Tiger, I'm going to go to Michigan. I'm going to try to get sober. And again, this MO, this bedroom window thing happens, and everybody's waiting for me to come out. I've been packing my clothes. I've been seeing my washer and my dryer, my water beds. I've been seeing everything go out the front door. People are buying my stuff, and I'm leaving. It's really happening. I haven't taken a sober breath in 10 years, and other than when I was in jail. Oh, I could say I was saved by the devil, but I'm not lost yet. I do like the extra focusing, though, to stop and. So after all these DUIs, this man comes from Michigan, and he's gonna help me. He's gonna take me to Michigan, and I'm gonna get sober, and everything's gonna be well. And I realized with all this money in my pocket that I don't want to go to Michigan. I just need more drink. I need more alcohol. So I got the bedroom window, and I'm not coming out, and I walk down to the local liquor store, which they know me by name, and by then these little bottles are legal in Texas. I love those little bottles. And so I go into the little liquor store where the little Asian man is, and he's been selling me alcohol for many, many years. And I said, I want one of all those colors. Give me one of all the colors you got. I just sold all my stuff. I got a lot of money, and I'm supposed to be going to Michigan any minute. And he said, all the colors? I said, all the colors. I want one of all the colors that you have here, and I'm leaving, and you won't have to sell anything to me anymore. And I grab off that bag of colors, of colored booze, and I climb up this tree that's out by the liquor store. I climb up the tree, and I sit up there perched, and I'm just drinking my little baby bottles of booze. And I don't know, really, I can't get high enough, I guess. And so I get up in that tree, and I'm drinking all my bottles of booze, and I'm crying, and I don't want to go, but I do want to go, and I'm just all messed up. And I see my mother driving by, and she's yelling, Cindy, and she knows my MO, just to be the dame of unstress, just to get out, and let someone else help me and find me. And that little Asian man realized I was in the tree after a while, and those little baby bottles were falling out of the tree down on the ground, and the Asian man comes out and he says, Lumare, you gotta come out of the tree, get out of my tree. And I have a hard time getting out of the tree. I can get up some places, but I can't get down. And you know how I got out of that tree. So they find me. Dennis from Michigan finds me. My mom thinks she puts together where I'm going to be, and they pour me in the van. And I don't know, I'm not sure exactly to say how it happened. I have someone else's moccasins on. I don't even know how that happened. But what I put in my bag to take is what's in the van. I don't even really remember what it is at that moment. So all the way, they pour me in the van, and for the next 36 hours, I don't even speak. And that smell is emanating from my pores, and I get to Michigan. It's a really yucky, nasty story. I want to get into my God part, because nobody can help me. That man talked about it. The judge couldn't help me. He told me to go to AA, the mother, the children, the kids. These things aren't working out for me, so I'll get rid of the job. I'll get rid of the kid. I just traded everything in for my vodka. Just you can have it all. I just need the vodka. So Michigan doesn't work out. I steal from that man, and I make my way to the airport where I can find those little baby bottles of booze. I had only been sober up there for a couple of months in Michigan when that man tried to save me. And it was kind of odd that at that time, whoever was important to me, when I'm drinking, it doesn't matter there is no one, only vodka, but get me sober, and then all of a sudden I need to be a good mom, I need to be that, I need to be this, and I got to get back. And this jail, all those DUIs and everything, I had skipped town. When that judge said, you need to be on antabuse because you're not doing things properly, I took that as they want me to leave Texas because I can't take antabuse, and all the stories that I would give that judge about why I can't, I got hairspray and chemicals and things. At any rate, so I steal the money, I get back to Texas, and I call the jail. It was a holiday weekend, and well, it was a Memorial weekend, and I called the jail and I said, you guys need to come get me. I've been going for my rest, and they said, honest to God, they said, it's a busy weekend right now. Could you call back on Tuesday or Wednesday? I can work that out, I suppose. And they gave me time to plan. I got all the white socks, and I got all the white T-shirts, and I got all the white underclothes that you wear because I was going to be there for a long time. And I started wearing all that stuff. So anyway, I get up in there to that jail, and I haven't taken a sober rest since I got on that airplane. And I turned myself in and I got all these extra. I got a lot of white stuff because I'm gonna be on there. I didn't know, but the next day they gave me the paperwork for another PI. They gave me paperwork and they had me sign up. What is this for? Is this for the PI you got here yesterday when you got here? They gave me a PI for turning myself in drunk with all that slurred on. So I got another PI. And you guys have kept out of jail. The only thing I want to do is drink. I've traded in my career. I've traded in everything. I showed you all that. And a lot of things are foggy. I'm going to bring y'all right to Arizona. I moved to Louisiana. I had another baby. I thought I was broken. I didn't think I could have children. Didn't want children. But there I am. God has granted me a blessing of children. So I get to... We came to Lake Havasu City, Arizona, to Berry Cable, and I'm good with the law. I've cleaned up everything, and I'm okay. I'm not in Havasu 6 months, and I'm back on paper. I've got assault. Now, I back up here. So I think I'm going to sober up, and I go to AA. I'd like to skip all that drunk stuff because I love God and what He's done for me. The lady that sobers or helps sober me up, she detoxed me. She's here today, and I love you, Linda. Remember that. It's not long. The timeline's not important, I don't think, but wherever I am, there I am. I'm on paper again, and I had tried AA for a minute in Arizona, and I went back drinking, and apparently I called the law on my mate, and they took me to jail because he had blood on his shirt, and so there I am, scarcely clad again, and before long I'm on paper in Arizona. I'm on paper in Arizona. I got 2 years probation. I spent all the time in jail and all that, and I'm like, oh, geez. And I had a career for a hairdresser, and I just traded all that shit in for more alcohol again. So I get out of jail, and I'm starting AA, but I was in and out. And they called me as a special slipper. One morning I came in, and they went, oh, look at here, our special slipper is here. And I thought, oh, that's cute. What is that? It sounded fun. It sounded cool. It sounded cute. And but it's not. It's the one who comes in and out and in and out and in and out, and that was me. But one thing they didn't do is they didn't give up on me. Those people would come up to me and want to start hugging me, and I was grossed out. Like, get off me, get away. You know, if I was over at Fruit City right now, you wouldn't want to hug me, so why do you want to hug me here? I was defiant, resistant, and I didn't want to do anything that anybody was saying, and I could hear people talking about going to the movies and things like that, and I'm like, oh, how can you talk about going to the movies? I'm in serious shit here. I got probation, and you're talking about going to the movies, and I just could not relate to being happy or anything. I like my James Lynn distress. I like drama. I grew up with that. I'm comfortable with that. Don't give me peace and serenity and calm and all that. I don't know what to do with that. And so I'm resistant. And one day I relapsed. I wrote down when I came back in my big book about how many. I just forgot. I lost count. So I'm back in the rooms one more time, and I'm outside the doors, and it's raining, and I stink, and this one guy looks at me, and everybody's gone, and I'm smoking a cigarette, crying, and the guy goes, you know, Cindy, if you would just do what we do here, we won't have to keep seeing all this. And he's gotten this fucking laugh. I'm like, sure, you know what? Yeah, talk to me like that. But it's so profound. Another man shortly after that said, Cindy, you cannot quit drinking, honey, if you don't stop drinking. I said, now those two little things were old. I mean, that's over 15 years ago. Those guys telling me that, but it sticks out in my brain today. That's so profound. And so this black lady, my sponsor is not the same color as me. She's not the same generation as me. She doesn't even have the same higher power as me. And she's not with us anymore. She, in fact, I don't know where Jerry is. Jerry taught me a word right before we came here of serendipity. I didn't know what that meant. And I said, that's kind of like God shots. But my sponsor, Joy, she died on April 13th, the day that my mother was born. And I thought, and so all these, they keep happening. They're all the time. My first God shot that I ever got, I'm coming into the rooms. That black lady, Miss Joyce, she told me to read page 86 and 87 and 88 every day. And I thought, okay, I think I can do that. She goes, now some of this stuff is just simple, Cindy, but it's not easy. And I thought, well, that's kind of corny, I don't get that, but okay, I can read page 86 and 87 and 88 every day. And I remember that first night, it's about midnight, and I went, oh shit, I didn't read the 86, 87, 88, and it's like tomorrow now, and so I'll just read it like twice when I wake up, and that way I can like say I read it, and I'm working all this stuff out of my head, and I realize, oh my God, this is what you're talking about. It's simple. It's just not easy. And so I unasked myself from the bed, and I walked down the hallway, and I got that big book, and I read that thing, and went there. And when I closed the book and walked down the hallway, something happened. I just felt like something happened. Something that was that simple. Just read the pages. There's something profound happening. My profound things are just, they're little ditties and they keep adding up and adding up. But that in itself is nothing but the discipline that I had displayed. I was now involved in my own sobriety. And so I'm reading the pages. I'm going to the meetings. I've made my conscious contact with God. And they talk about me in there when they say, you have all these absurd ideas and everything. That was definitely me. And my first God saw, my first relationship, my first contact when he spoke with me was amazing, and I love it, and I get goosebumps when I think about it still. And so I'm at work. At work we share a bathroom with another business next door, and underneath the sink in the bathroom is where we always kept our booze, and I could drink her booze and they could drink my booze, and there was booze in there. And that particular day, I didn't go to the Moose Lodge and order lunch and drink it, and I didn't do all the things I normally do on a given day. And I was in the bathroom and I was thanking God that I had not looked underneath that bathroom sink for alcohol. The bathroom sink, and this, I don't know what it is about the bathroom, right? So I'm in there and I'm thanking God that I didn't go to the Moose Lodge and that I didn't do those things that I always do. And I'm asking him that if we could just get to another portion of the city and pass up. I said, thank you for not, I'm talking with God, I'm thanking him for what had happened, and I'm asking him to give me whatever it takes to get past the stores I always stop at and pick up my daughter at school. So we still need a few more hours to go. And I'm thanking him, and I'm grateful, and I'm asking a request from him. And then when I open the door to go outside to go pick up my daughter to go to school, I open the door, and on the bottom on the ground was a water droplet in the shape of a heart. And it's Arizona, and so without a shadow of a doubt, I knew that water droplet was from my higher power, and that I'm starting to get acquainted with, and I knew that was my you're welcome and thank you and yes we can. So I pick her up from school and I get to the AA later. I'm so excited to tell them about my God shot, and I said, oh my gosh, the God shot, the heart water droplet was just for me, and the man at the AA club said, ooh, Cindy had a God shot today, and he made fun of my little water droplet heart shape, and I won't say at the mic what I said to him, but I took it very personal, become very defensive, and so the next day comes along, or days thereafter, and I'm getting ready for work, and I'm talking to God, and I'm thanking him. I said, well, I'm not looking underneath the sink, because I keep my alcohol in water bottles all over the house. I want alcohol to be where I'm at. If I'm in the laundromat, I want it in the water bottle there. If I'm in the computer area, I need the water bottle. So my water bottles will never water, okay, never. And so I'm not looking underneath the sink, but I want to. And that morning I said, well, I want to look underneath the sink for the water bottle, for the booze, but I didn't the other day. You helped me then, and whatever you are. And I said, well, you're my great God. You're my Gigi. And I said, Gigi, he's my Gigi. And so that day in the bathroom at home, I felt like I met Gigi. I felt like I met my power. I named him. I start writing letters to him. In my journaling, I'm writing, Dear Gigi, thank you for this day. And it's gratitude. I don't look underneath the sink that morning for the booze like I always did. And I get Lowell to school, and I get to the stop sign, and there's my store that I always get my little green tilt in the morning, and then take a left and go to the liquor store. And I say, oh, I don't want Gigi. I don't want to do that. I don't. Could we do something else, anything else? And he said, okay, we'll just keep going. So I kept driving to the car stop. And then I took a right, and then I took a left. And before long, I was at this place called Mesquite Bay in Havasu. And I'm wearing, jammy clothes, because you can just drop off the kid. But I'm the kind of drunk that I can wear clothes for a week and be all right. So I'm wearing my jammy clothes, and I realize I just feel like I'm supposed to get out of my car, and so I get out of my car, and I grab this towel that's in there, and I grab my cigarettes and get down to the water, and I just started being with Gigi. And so the next day, I'm like, I gotta go back to that place because I didn't know where that place was. I knew I had made contact that morning, named him Gigi, and I knew I was supposed to go back. And so I dropped Laurel off at school that day, but this time I came a little more prepared. I had my big book, and I had a bigger blanket, and I had something to drink, and, drink. Thank you, Dakota. I have a new cup. I have a drinking problem still. I usually have 3 going at once. I got a brown one that's coffee over here. I got a white one over there. It's water. And then I have orange juice and Sunny D in this cup. I always have, I have to have 2 or 3 drinks going at a time. So I get down to, when you came up, I knew you were sent. God in skin suits. That's what all y'all are. And that's what I know now, all the God types that come and He speaks through all of y'all. And thank you for the cup. She just randomly came up and gave me a cup. Maybe a yellow top because I have a yellow top. I don't know. Anyway, so that's what I want. That's my main thing I wanted to tell you all about. So the conscious contact with God that I made that morning with Gigi, and I'm to go. I don't know it, but I'm laying my foundation down there. I'm going down there, and I don't know why, but I'm craving. So now I got to go down there. I might go down. It's in the morning at first. I just go down in the morning. I'm down there for hours, just at the water, writing and thanking and writing and thanking. And but with life in session, things happen, and I didn't tell you all about the belly bugs. I didn't know what it was, but I referred to these things in my gut as belly bugs, and I just lived with them. What it was, the belly bugs are guilt and remorse, and the only thing that makes them shut up and leave me alone is more vodka. And what happens is they just reproduce, and then I have more belly bugs. I'm just one big yucky belly bug. So my Gigi is starting to replace that. Gratitude is in action. I didn't understand that. I'm going to a lot of meetings. I'm going to Mesquite Bay as often as possible. And I would just sit down there and be in gratitude. Gratitude is the foundation of my sobriety. And so many things are happening. One of the most profound slips, I love acronyms, a slip is sobriety, losing its priority. And I was going to hear a girl talk about how she thought she had been swimming at the lake, but she had actually pissed her pants, and I thought, that's the girl I'm going to go talk to, because someone referred to me one time, he's a Canadian guy, he said, Cindy, you're one of the floor-licking thoroughbred types of this alcoholism stuff, and I went from special slippers to floor-licking thoroughbred, and there's a lot of little names and languages here that I just love that. I made it my own acronym. I have Grateful I Got God, and that's my gig. Got my gig going on. And those belly bugs, I have normal things in my belly now, the butterflies and things like that, but the belly bugs are gross, they're disgusting, and they eat my soul. They talk about having a spiritual experience in here. I believe I was a spiritual being before I became human, and I spent a lot of time trying to get to that spiritual level, and one day, we'll get there, but it's just a practice. It's just to keep trying, and I had a spiritual extinguisher, okay? Alcohol extinguished my spirit. There wasn't much. When I got to AA, there wasn't anything. It was an empty shell of just a bunch of belly bugs. So the spiritual experience that I aimed, the little ones that happen all the time. That first one was the heart droplet, but with God in skin suits and knowing that, and coming to meetings and knowing that the guy that has one day is just as important, or probably the most important, as the guy that's got 30 years. When I was preparing to talk about, like, what will I talk about? I know God will speak through me, and I look at y'all and I find it more distracting. I feel like I need to close my eyes and breathe. So with God active in my life now, and I want to shout from the rooftop, I want to put my bumper sticker on, I want to put it on my stations at work, I want to tell everybody, and a fella says, you've been in and out a lot, so, maybe don't put the bumper sticker on your car right now, and I'm the special flipper. I always go back out. And so I just put the bumper stickers on my car and then go right away. I had a rock at there's a man in our fellowship who paints rocks for Alcoholics Anonymous, and I keep that at my shop in hopes that maybe someone whatever. I do have a bumper sticker now on my car. Just a circle and a triangle. But that's the large shots. Serendipity. A man would come into AA and he would be stuck on words. He would give me a word of the week, or I was stuck on paradox for such a long time. I had to surrender to this disease, surrender to win. I had to become dependent upon Gigi to gain my independence. So when I rely upon God to do for me what I can't do for myself, it doesn't always look as like I would like for it to look. Look at that baby. Hi, friend. When I get out of the way, I don't listen to I read books. I'm reading a book right now, The Four Agreements. I was the person that I was going to make everything a big deal. I'll make a big deal out of everything. And God is a big deal. Good, orderly directions. Group of drunks. I was at a speaker meeting one time and the lady says, well, I just go with Gus. Great universal spirit. Whatever it is, that I found Gigi, my great God. And I know without him, I can't. I have a structure. My letters to God, I write a journal. Sometimes it's just thank you in the morning and thank you at night. But most of the time I write pretty regular. I didn't bring any notes. I'm drawing a blank at the moment, but this is God's country. And I was hoping it would rain before we got all done with this. And I want to get back to God in skin suits. So Joyce is going to work with me. And I'm going to show up at her house every Monday about 1 o'clock. And we're going to go step work. And this one Monday, I married in sobriety. I divorced in sobriety. It's been a lot of crazy. The only thing I've done right in this deal is not drink, not pick up a drink and stuff. So anyways, I missed this morning to go work with my sponsor, and I woke up and I'm supposed to be over there, and my new husband is gone, my new mother-in-law is gone. There's nobody in the house, and I have to have a drink. Now it has been over a year since I had a drink. I haven't finished my steps. And I'm frantic. I'm going through the house like a mad woman. What kind of house is this? They don't have cooking sherry. Surely there's got to be some damn alcohol in here. I want to drink so bad. And I find these little bitty tramadol doggy downer things. They're like little things for the dog that had a vasectomy. So I got these little vasectomy dog pills that I found, and I'm crying and screaming and I'm yelling. Noises are coming out of me that I am not familiar with as I frantically look through this house to find some alcohol because I got to have a drink. And I just missed my appointment with my sponsor. If that was all that happened, nothing major. And I find this fancy bottle with Marilyn Monroe on it, and it's all stacked away with all this other stuff. And I've got the booze, and I've got that little doggy downer dealies for the dog, and they're sitting in the garage, and I put them there, and I'm looking at them, and I'm yelling the Serenity Prayer, and I'm screaming it, and I'm crying, and I'm swinging, and I got a chair, I'm viciously rocking in it, and going round and round, and saying that prayer, and making noises, and all of a sudden the garage door opens up, and the new husband says, "Are you all right?" Do I say, "Look all right to you?" And my hair is a wreck. I got a roll on. I've been crying for an hour. And he goes, "What are you doing with that? That's a $500 bottle." I'm like, "Well, I was going to drink it. I don't know what I was going to do." And he gives me a big hug. He goes, "I think you had some sort of test here or something, and you passed. So you're all right." And I just kept hitting him. And I didn't know what all that was about. And I called Joyce. And so she said something like, "So what did you have for lunch?" And she could hear my voice. She was trying to bring me down. Joyce could reel me in. And the only thing I did right that day, I didn't call my sponsor. I didn't know what the trigger was. But that's the last obsession that I've had. And that was 2011. It's the last obsession. But I believe that I know that this is cunning and baffling and powerful, and I believe that God will. I go to meetings and I rely upon the power to do for me when I can't do for myself. Now that man was crazy. I'm attracted to crazy. We're not one of the friends that I've just met, I don't see him. He's the oddball out. I don't know. I love the oddball out, and if I was to, I kept thinking, well, I don't really have to prepare too much because God will use me, and He will talk to whoever needed to hear whatever they needed to hear. And as I stand here, I want to be the vessel. I brought St. Francis of Assisi prayers, little bookmarkers. I brought them here today to just distribute and give away. And I don't know if you got one, but that prayer is that in my bathroom. This magic stuff happens in my bathroom. Now at the end of my drinking, I would have the religious KNLB radio playing in the bathroom all the time, and I have my booze in the bathroom, and don't come in here. and so the bathroom was where, like, I don't know, the magic things happen in my bathroom. So to this day, I have the Christian music. It's a KNLB radio. I have that music playing on. And I have that St. Francis of Assisi prayer. And on a daily basis, I listen to a song called Thank You by 33 Miles. So some of the things that I do on a daily basis is just that, I have to do certain things on a daily basis. I chair a meeting on Thursday mornings, a meditation meeting. My motto has always been, I'm only a morning person on Christmas. So for me to be doing a meditation meeting and have to be there at 6:30 is pretty cool. I know that God works through me. I know that God works through y'all so I can hear what I need to hear. Most recently, one of my customers' husbands died, and I think I'm winding down, up, over. So most recently, my customer's husband died, and I'm out in front of my shop, and I have a book exchange for people who want to get their haircuts. I don't have to get your haircuts. They use my book exchange at the shop. I still do that. In the beginning, it was always we. We're going to go to the store. We would never drive through the liquor store. I know that. I would drive through the liquor store, but we would not. That's we, with me and Gigi, we travel together. I don't know why. Okay, so the customer, because it's the most recent story I have, but my customer's husband died. I'm blowing the parking lot at the book exchange. Not important to the story. I don't know. And I realize that some of these books are old and I'm going to get rid of them, and they've been out there for years, and Thursday I'm throwing some away, and I pull one of the books out to throw it away, and it's so you've lost a loved one and he's left you behind. It's a book about someone dying, your spouse dying. And I realized that God, I felt like, whoa, God just dropped that in my lap to stop what I'm doing and to get that book to that lady. Now, when I'm asking for God to use me, it may not be an alcoholic. It may be used to help anybody. And early in my sobriety, I was a taker. I didn't give. I landed on your doorstep, and you gave me what you had, everything that you had. I took it, what you had. I took everything you had. And so I'm turning into a giver, and my early walk would mean bring the grocery cart into the store. But I would want to tell you, did y'all see me? I just brought 2 grocery carts into the store. That's how good I am today. I brought a grocery cart store, and I would tell y'all when I do stuff good. My MO now is to leave lottery tickets laying around. I like to give lottery tickets, to hide them. I randomly, my daughter said, "What are you leaving that lottery ticket up at the bathroom at the Big 5 store? What are you doing that for?" I went, "I don't know. Somebody's going to come in here during the day and have a bad day, and they're going to look up there and see that lottery ticket and go, wow, look, lottery ticket," and it's going to help them. So I'm a giver now. I give randomly, and I don't. But in the beginning, I would bring the grocery cart in and want you to look at me. You say this, I didn't need it, but I'm bringing it in, and that was very important for you to know that I was being a good deed. Now I really, really like it when you don't know when I've done things that are good. I had to practice little bitty things to learn how to be a giver. The grocery cart thing seems minute, simple by itself, but that was where I started. And I would pray for I realized early I was praying for my mate to have a God shot, to have a good life, to be serene, to get some peace, because he's always mad and angry and pissed off. And it dawned on me, it occurred to me in a meeting one day, I wasn't praying for him to get peace for his peace. I was praying for him to have peace so that my life would be better. So this thing about, I'm only to pray for myself if others are to be helped. So if I was going to pray for me, I need a car, you got to pray for me to get a car. I'm to pray for me to get a car so that I can give you a ride. I pray for me. Oh, my shoes. I think I had the end quick. Okay, so I went to jail so many times with no shoes, or one time a cop said, you ain't wearing those shoes in my car. There were some slippers, some really muddy, nasty slippers that I had been tramping around town with, and he put me in his car with my elephant slippers and my polka dot dress, and he took my bottle and made me take my slippers off, and so I never saw those muddy slippers again. I always got out of jail when I was with anyway. My shoes, when Terry took his shoes off last night, I went, oh, good. So maybe I get to take my shoes off. I like real fancy, pretty glittery shoes. My Cinderella slippers is what I call them. And I can rationalize a $50 pair of shoes because I just can, because I had went so many years being nasty with no shoes or anybody else's shoes for that matter. And so I like my nice flip flops. I have a lot of them. If you like one, if you like that color, if you like that shoe, buy it every color. And I don't know, I think I am going to have to wrap up, and I knew that I did write one thing down because I didn't bring my original copy, and I was going to make all y'all some copies. But there again, see, I just wanted to leave them laying around. I didn't want you to know that I was giving them away. But, am I right? Are we about wrapping up? Yeah. So, yeah, God in skin suits. I found it most effective today to keep my eyes closed. Otherwise it is. Anyway, the wolves within. The grandfather is talking with his grandson, and he says, there are two wolves inside us which are always at war with each other. One of them is a good wolf, which represents things like kindness and courage and love. And the other is a bad wolf, which represents things like greed, hatred, and fear. The grandson stops and thinks about it for a bit, and he looks up at his grandpa and says, Godfather, which one wins? And the grandfather said, the one that you feed. That's all I have.